Welcome, everyone. This is the MasterClass. My name is Patricknazareth. I have around 30 years of experience in teaching, and I would like to help dispel your doubts should you have any. Today, we are going to look at the lesson, The Little Girl, written by Katherine Mansfield. Katherine was born in the year 1888 and she died in 1923. She was a New Zealand-born British author who was famous for her short stories. What did she write about? Family relationships, childhood experiences, and the inner lives of women and children. The way she wrote was modern. It was psychological, based on the characters' thoughts, their feelings, rather than just the actions. She died comparatively young from tuberculosis, but has left behind a good body of work that are still read widely and praised universally. Have you ever noticed how your relationship with your parents, your father, your mother, the rest of the family change, especially as you grow older? We start with a young girl, Kezia. She is very frightened of her father. Every morning when he goes for work, she is happy that he has left the house. Every evening when he comes back, she feels fear again. He comes into the house, asks for the papers, asks for his slippers. Her mother calls to her, Kezia, come and help your father take off his boots. She goes down as slowly as she can. Why? She is nervous in front of her father. She is so nervous that she stutters when he asks her anything. As a father, he of course is worried, and he says that if you continue stuttering, I will need to have you sent to a doctor. How can she explain to the father that it is only his presence that makes her stutter? Kezia sees her father as a giant of a man, whose very presence she is scared to be in. Sunday afternoons, the family are in the house. The grandmother takes care to send Kezia down to meet her father, to speak to him. When she goes down, the mother is on the sofa, so is the father. But his legs are up, his eyes are closed, he is sleeping. Too frightened to wake him, she waits for him to get up. When he does, he notices her staring at him, and this upsets him more. Why are you staring like that, Kezia? What is the problem? One day, her grandmother informs her that her father's birthday is coming, and she suggests to her, why don't you make him a nice present? Kezia thinks it's a good idea, and she starts to stitch a pin cushion. She works very hard on it. She makes the cushion, she stitches the three sides, leaving one side open, obviously, for the stuffing to be put in. But what to stuff it with? She goes looking around the house. Nothing. When she goes to her mother's bedroom, she notices some sheets of paper lying around. She picks them up, tears them, and stuffs them into the cushion. Then she stitches shut the cushion. Her surprise for the father is ready. But that evening, there is a huge outcry in the house. Father's speech, a speech that he has to give to the Ports Authority, is missing. What has happened? Kezia's mother, out of desperation, comes to her room. Kezia, have you seen anything? Do you know anything about what has happened? Did you take something out of my room? And the girl says, yes, there were some papers there. I tore them up for my father's surprise. The mother immediately grabs the child and drags her down to the father. The father asks her, did you do this? And of course, being scared, she said no. The father sends her up to the room, tells the mother to do whatever she can to retrieve his writing, his speech. He comes up to the room after some time. He is there to punish the child, takes a ruler, makes her hold out her hands, and hits her hard. Her grandmother comes up with an explanation. Don't worry, he was so angry, he didn't mean anything. He wouldn't listen even when I tried to explain to him. But the child is frightened. The memory of that punishment lingers on. When she sees the father the next time, she puts her hands behind her back. She blushes because she is upset. She is out in the garden. Next door, there is the McDonald family. She notices the father playing with the children. The baby is with him. His girls are holding on to his coat pockets. The boys, two of them, are chasing him around the garden, wetting him with a hose. He is laughing the whole while. He is not angry. He is enjoying himself with his children. Kezia wishes that her father was like that. One day, the mother falls very sick and she has to be hospitalized. Grandmother goes with him. Kezia is left alone with her father. She is frightened. The days are fine, but what about the night? Suppose she has a nightmare. She normally calls her grandmother, but Granny is no longer in the house. The cook Alice tells her not to worry. Go to sleep. Don't disturb your father. That night, she has a nightmare about a butcher, possibly chasing her with a knife. She calls out. Her father, who is the only person in the house, comes to her. He is holding a candle. This was in the days before electricity, remember? He asks her what is the problem. She tries to explain to him. He realizes the child has had a nightmare. He carries her back to his own bedroom. He tucks the girl in. He lies down next to her. He makes the child snuggle close to him, telling her to warm himself. He is a tired man. He has worked the whole day. He goes to sleep. The girl suddenly realizes, my dad doesn't play with me, not because he doesn't want to, but because he works so hard trying to put food on our table. He is angry with me because his speech meant a lot to him. There was no one to look after her father. He was all alone, no mother, no grandmother. A different feeling came over her. She realized her father was a good man after all. She snuggled up to him. She could feel his heart beating. She felt safe in his arms. She felt loved. The father wakes up, asks her what is the problem, and she replies, I can feel your heart, father. You have a very big heart. In other words, she is telling him that she understands everything that he is going through for her, and she loves him even more for all that. Who are the characters in this story? Kezia, she's sensitive, nervous, a young girl who is afraid of her father. She loves him and wants to please him, but she is misunderstood. The father, he is a strict man who is focused on his work. He appears to be harsh and intimidating. The mother, she is a quiet lady who tries to find a balance between the father and the daughter, but she doesn't stand in the way of Kezia getting punished. The grandmother, a comforting presence in Kezia's life. She is the one who suggests that she do something for her father and who comforts Kezia after the beating. The settings in this story, it's a middle-class home. There are servants, there's a drawing room and different bedrooms. It is probably set in the early 20th century. What are the literary devices used here? Symbolism, like the pin cushion Kezia is making, her attempt to show love. And the nightmare about the butcher and the knife represents her fears. There is contrast, the difference between Kezia's father and Mr. MacDonald, showing us the different styles of parenting. Imagery, for example, when Kezia describes her father as a giant. There is irony. Kezia is making something out of love, but in order to do that, she destroys the very thing that her father has worked so hard on and is so important to him, his speech. There is the point of view. It's a third-person limited point of view. It shows us everything from Kezia's perspective, allowing us to feel her emotions, her fears. Metaphor. The father, who's described as a giant, it shows us how frightening he must be to a small, sensitive child. What are the different themes that run through the story? Fear versus understanding. Sometimes the fear of a person in our lives can come in the way of us understanding the reasons why we fear them, can come in the way of us understanding their actual nature. Then we have parent-child relationships. How every parent has a different parenting style, and how that style or that way of bringing up the child affects the child in question. There is the communication gap, misunderstanding between generations, between, in this case, the father and the daughter. There is empathy and growth. Kezia, at the end, finally learns to understand her father. She sees him as a human being. She realizes how much he loves her, and she stops looking at him just as an authority figure. Love in different forms. How does Kezia's father show his love? He's showing his love through the way he comes to protect her in the night. She cries, he is there for her. He doesn't show it by playing with her. He's showing it by being there for her when she is frightened, when she needs him. That's it then, the end of the lesson. I hope I have been of help. If I have, do remember to like, subscribe and share. Remember, there might be others who would be requiring our help. Thank you so much for watching.